Hello and welcome back to The Rise. So, this is part two in a series that we're doing on the rise to your next level of financial abundance, financial freedom, financial empowerment, worthiness, success. And I'm really excited that we're back for part two. So, as you recall in part one, we laid the foundation for before we can rise to a next level of abundance, we've got to become aware and even work on accepting where we are. And we talked about an experience that a lot of people are having right now about, entrepreneur or author or business PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, and what are some of the catalysts and some of the symptoms. And so if you're following along in the roadmap, we have our Accelerate Abundance roadmap. And if you don't have that yet, just message the word accelerate, comment to that to me, DM me on Instagram or any of the social channels, email me, Sarah Canal, or just you can do care@sarahcanal.com and we will get that to you. It is free. It is powerful. It will help you go deep and actually have a full activation, a full transformation from doing this series. So I'm really committed to us not just talking about things, but making true change, because that will uplift when you activate your abundance, when you rise to your next level. That gives everyone in your family line and who knows you and your clients and the people in your community the opportunity to do the same, even on an energetic level. It's so exciting. So you're doing this work for you first and foremost, putting your oxygen mask on first, and then you are becoming a force and a channel and a catalyst for abundance in the world. Isn't that great? And my God, the world needs you to step up and do that right now. So I'm excited we're doing it together. Now, in today's episode, we're going to look at the land of lack and the land of abundance. Okay, if we were doing a fairy tale, we've got the two lands. We have if it was a Disney movie, right? Like the land of lack, we could see be all gray and raining and cold and like ugly and depressing. And the land of abundance with butterflies and fields of flowers and golden rivers and sparkles and all the fireworks going off. And just even though that's a very simplistic way of describing these worlds, I want to talk about the two worlds, because the two worlds coexist. At any moment, we can be living in the land of lack or we can be living in the land of abundance. And whatever stories we've had, we talked about the stories we make up. The reality is, like, abundance is real. There is always abundance available right where we are. And even if you've never believed that and never experienced that as true, I'm inviting you today to think about moving, getting out your passport and moving to the land of abundance. Okay. And we're going to talk about that. So a number of years ago, I was doing a prosperity workshop. This was a long time ago, a long time ago. And my experience up until then and for a while afterwards still was definitely, it was land of lack. I feel like for me, I feel like I was raised in sort of money negative environment. I had a religious upbringing that said focus on money was unspiritual, that it was sinful, that it was bad to even want it or care about it. I grew up in a family where I took on the story, we didn't have enough, we can't afford that. Again, it was bad to want it, because why should you want it? Because that's not spiritual. And on and on and on. I'm a woman, and women don't make as much as men, and I'm an artist and a creative, and the archetype there is the starving artist. And I was sexually assaulted and raped as a child, and I had the belief that somehow that made me broken and bad and unworthy and not deserving of anything good, which again is crazy. And there is a powerful, powerful, powerful link between trauma, unresolved trauma, and ability to earn financial abundance. And I'm researching it right now, co-writing a book about it right now. We're including that research, but there is a link. So whether your trauma was like mine or there was other things, there were religious influences, cultural influences, racial influences, people told you weren't worth anything. Like there's so many places that can create these hordes of lack and keep us living in the land of lack and thinking that that's our reality for either everyone or just for us, and other people can be in the land of abundance. Is anything resonating? Pause this. If you would just journal in your roadmap, are any of these things up for you? Are you have you experienced any of these influences that could potentially be affecting your finances right now, right? And I've spent many, many years now, decades, researching this, studying this, doing the work on myself, facilitating the work in our clients so they can be prosperous artists, prosperous coaches, prosperous thought leaders, $1 million thought leaders, all that stuff, right? But um, it was a process, and I'm going to expedite that process. That's why you get your Accelerate Abundance roadmap and do this series with us and come to the event at the end of April that's coming up. And it is free. All this stuff is free because I want you to rise. I don't want you stuck for decades like I was. It's not worth it, and you don't need to be, right? You do this work, you do the get the roadmap, listen to the show, and come to the event at the end of April. And we'll have the link in the show notes for you to come to that. It's completely free as my gift because we all get to rise. We need to rise. There's so much fear on the planet right now that your rise is gonna help everybody. Okay, so that's what's really exciting about this. All right. So I'm just beginning. I said in episode 1, I was going to continue to peel away what are the influences, what are the hooks, what are the cords that might still be keeping you. So back to, I sign up for this class called like financial freedom or something like that. I would sign up for anything, right? Anyone like that's like anything that says abundance and, prosperity is like, okay, I need, I knew that it wasn't working the way I wanted. And in this class, they asked a question. And they said, how often are you thinking about money? Like just not what are you thinking about it? Just how much attention is going to money? And we drew like a pie chart, like a big circle on the page. And I said, oh my God, like I'm thinking about it like 80 to 90% of the time, my thoughts are going to finances. And then the question was, I asked myself, the facilitator didn't, but now when I facilitate this, I ask, and by the way, you're going to get to do this, right? What are the thoughts? Are the thoughts positive in this 80 to 90% of the time that I'm thinking about my thoughts are going to finances? No, they were not. They were highly fearful and frustrated and beating myself up and guilt and shame and all kinds of like stuff like that. So I'm spending 80 to 90% of my time when my thoughts are just roaming around, like when I'm not doing other things, they're going to finances. First of all, that's like that's a lot of energy and thinking that's going to this area of my life, and I'm going to it in a place that is going to keep me 100% bound, gagged, tied to the land of lack, because every thought I'm having about is that I don't have enough, and that it's my fault I don't have enough, and I'm unworthy to have more, and I'm just not the kind of person, my mom used to tell me, you're not good with money, and I wasn't, so she was being accurate, but I took on that identity and then proved her right for many, many, many years. And I always had it in me to be great at money. I'm great at money. I know my numbers. I have an all cash business. I have no debt. I have, I make, over $1 million a year. I mean, like I'm great at money. I get to keep being better, but I'm in terms of just, my bookkeeping is immaculate. My, like these are just skills I've developed that I always had the potential for, but I was just living out this narrative of the starving artist and the creative and the woman and the, you know, broken person from her childhood trauma, all the stuff I mentioned. Okay. So I was in the land of lack. I had lack thoughts from my childhood. I had lack thoughts from my culture. I was engaging in the lack thoughts from my own experiences of then creating unmanageability and under earning and lack and all those things. Okay. All that was going on, and I was living in the land of lack. Abraham Hicks, if you study work of Abraham, talks about, what drum are you beating? And I was just beating, there's not enough, I'm not enough, there's not enough, I'm not enough, I can't have it, other people can have it. What's wrong with me? There's something wrong with me. I'm so ashamed that I can't figure this out. I can't do the things I want. All comparison, jealousy, every lack, 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 lack. Okay. Ugh. Do a lion's breath. Do you relate at all? Okay. Now, the land of abundance was always there coexisting. At any moment, I could have changed the channel, but it was like I was watching a fake news, fear mongering news channel, just had it on 24/7. So, are you living in the land of lack in any form? Some of the time, are you a part time resident? Were you full time, like owned property like me? Right? Or are you living in a land of abundance some of the time, all the time? right? We don't have to be like perfectionistic and be in it all the time. But what is it like to start to release the attachment, the identity, the stories, the thinking, the obsessing about lack, so that we can start putting our attention? We really can just change the channel the same way we can just, click on a different streaming platform, or, change the channel on a radio, and we go over to the land of abundance. Now, I want to talk about that transition. So I had spent years, decades living in the land of lack, really being masterful. I mean, really, I was a master at it, right? Maybe, like we always win the game we're playing. And I was playing the not enough, broken, can't have it, bad at it, not allowed, unworthy, all the stuff. I was fluent in lack, the language of lack, the identity of lack. So to go over to the land of abundance, yes, it's as easy as flipping a channel and start putting ourselves there. But I believe abundance is a language. I believe that when we want to go live, the best way to learn a language is immerse ourselves, go to the culture. If we want to learn French, go to France. We want to learn Mandarin, go to China, right? And live there, or be around people that are speaking Mandarin all the time, speaking French all the time. It doesn't work well to do a couple of flashcards, which is the equivalent of a few affirmations or something, right? Read a couple books, not as helpful. So what I'm inviting you into here in the next part of this series is to get your passport out, get a new stamp that says abundance, and and move yourself, because it is free to live there. You don't have to pay to change your address. You don't have to go through customs. All you just get to do is consciously say, I'm moving to the land of abundance, and I'm going to immerse myself and learn the language. How do we do that? So I'm going to give you a couple ways here to start learning the ways that help me become immersed in abundance, to start to become more fluent. And what's fun about these is, again, they cost nothing. You can do them anywhere. Everyone can do them, no matter how old and young, however much you've made and haven't made, whatever your background and skills, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Everyone's welcome. Everyone's approved. Everyone gets to live here. And so the first step is to just notice when you're in lack and change the channel. Go, I don't live there anymore. I'm even if you're just doing a summer abroad in land of abundance, or a spring semester abroad, or a winter, it doesn't matter. Just your residence is abundance. Okay. How do we become fluent? The first way I like to do it is not trying to tell myself like, oh, I have all the money I want. If that hasn't been your experience, that's going to seem like nonsense. So we're going to make a bridge. We're going to make a bridge. And what I do is start the day reaching my arms out. If you're watching this on the video version of the podcast, right? Opening my arms really wide, as wide as they'll go. And just for 1 minute a day, you can start with, work your way up to 5. I am one with all the abundance in the universe. I am one with all the abundance in the universe. I am one with all the abundance in the universe. You don't have to believe it. You don't have to think it's true. You don't have to think it'll happen. Doesn't matter. Just do the physical gesture, the somatic gesture of opening your channel. I am one with. Okay, that's going to activate your subconscious mind. It's going to activate your energy. It's going to activate your outer conscious. It's going to activate all kinds of good things. Okay. The next thing is just to walk around all day. This is what I would do. And I would just notice abundance of any kind. Okay. So I was so used to looking at the lack in my bank account and in my thing and in my opportunities and in my calendar, all that crap. So focusing on the abundance that is just anywhere. It doesn't have to be an abundance of anything you even like. There's an abundance of leaves on the tree. There's an abundance of snowflakes coming down. There's an abundance of stuff on my to-do list that I don't even want to do. Doesn't matter. It's the evidence of abundance. We are just training our brain to look for abundance. This will activate the reticular activating system in your brain to go out and start to find you good abundance that you're excited about, right? But it can be anything. Anything. You could put your attention on a toaster instead of lack, as long as you are not putting your attention on that, because that's only going to create more, right? We're putting our attention to open up the channel for abundance, open up the channel for the new earth, just noticing abundance. There's an abundance of people on social media. There's an abundance of people further ahead than me. There's abundance, it doesn't even have to be stuff that you're excited about at first, just noticing abundance. I have an abundance of thoughts. I have an abundance, just noticing that the universe is actually, when you think of the number of species, my son was really into sharks when he was like around 5 and 6 years old, just like loved sharks, just loved them, wanted to think about it. I learned so much about sharks in those 2 years. And there are, I don't, there are thousands of kinds of sharks, not even just sharks alone. Isn't that nuts? Is that cool? That's how abundant our, think of how many types of flowers, how many physical appearances of humans, and how many breeds of dogs, how many ideas have come forward, how many books have been written, how many movies have been made, how many people are on the planet, billions. Focus on abundance. You're opening your channel, putting your attention on abundance. Okay. And then what I do is go into, just like if I was learning a new verbal language, I would just put myself in a container. And this is what I'm going to ask you to do for the rest of this series, starting today, is to listen to, read, connect with, have conversations about abundance every single day. So you start your day, go on YouTube, write in abundance, and just pick some thought leaders that you like, whether it's Mel Robbins or Joe Dispenza, or you pick some people that are talking, Rachel Rogers, who's talking about abundance for free on YouTube, and just listen to them talk about it. At night, when you go to sleep, you put on for free hypnosis, abundance hypnosis. You go to YouTube for free and type in abundance hypnosis meditation, overnight meditation. And there are thousands and thousands and thousands of awesome ones. If you want my favorites, just message me, DM me on Instagram and say accelerate abundance, and I will send you the roadmap. And I have my list of my favorites in there. All right. So you just go to sleep at night, listening to abundance. If you have things you do like walking a dog or driving to pick up your child from school, or you have a commute, or you wash dishes, or you clean your house, or you exercise, during that time, you're not scrolling on Facebook. You are right now in this immersion. You are listening to things about abundance. There are thousands of fabulous audiobooks about abundance. You can find out my favorites, and I will even gift you Science of Getting Rich for Women, that strategies work for women and men. I wrote it because of the women's economic comeback after the pandemic. That's why it's titled the way that it is. It's for everyone. And I will give you that PDF of that book for free as my gift. And there are 25 stories of self-made women millionaires who have risen from nothing with no trust funds and investors and anything like that. I give you all my strategies, right? That will complement what we're doing here with these new things in this series. I will give that to you. You just DM me the word abundance book, the phrase abundance book, and I will gift that to you. Okay. You can get it on Audible. It's all around you, and you are going to immerse morning, middle of the day when you're doing an activity that you can listen to something, and overnight while you're going to sleep. Okay. That is going to rapidly accelerate. So this doesn't have to take a decade. It doesn't have to take 3 years. This can take the time that we're doing this series, and then come to the abundance training, the masterclass series, doing at the end of the month. And by getting the roadmap, you will be invited to that. You will get a free pass to that. And we'll put the link in the show notes, and you come there and we will just supersize this to the next level. Okay. So you're going to be doing the work in the series first and then come to the training. All right. That's what we're going to start with. That's your homework. That's the next step in your rise to your accelerated abundance. All right. Really good job. Awesome for sticking with this. I'm very excited. I'm going to have some guest episodes during this series as well for other people that are talking about the rise in financial abundance and different ways you can think about it. You can hear my ideas and stories and strategies. You're going to hear other voices, stories, ideas, and strategies. And we're going to do this rise together. It's time. You deserve it. You get to. And I'll see you on the next one.